Hi Pisces, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your January 2017 forecast. Happy New Year. I am using appropriately so, I think, the Aquarian Tarot. This is by David Palladini. He is an artist that also graduated from the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, which is where Pamela Coleman Smith graduated from or went to. And she created or illustrated the Rider-Waite deck, so I found that pretty fascinating. I love his artistry. Very vintage, very 60s, 70s looking influence, with a little bit of Renaissance in there too. Anyway, here's the back of the deck. And I want to thank you for joining me, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your donations. It's a beautiful way to receive from you. I appreciate that so much. And these are free forecasts for Aries Sun, Pisces Sun, Pisces Rising, and Pisces Moon. So let's start the forecast because this transit involves you, and it is on the 3rd of January. Venus is entering Pisces in your first house of self and body. And Venus is the beautifier. She is the goddess Aphrodite. She is love and balance and harmony and a smooth aesthetic. So having her in the first house of self and body for a month is great for Pisces. You're looking your best when Venus enters the first house. On the 4th, we start our month with Mercury retrograde back in Capricorn at 15 degrees in December. I'm trying to remember the date in which he retrograded. I believe it was the 19th. And then he goes direct on the 8th, but he goes deeper into Sagittarius on the 4th of January. So the retrograde enters that sector for you where you hold 28 and 29 degrees of Sagittarius. There's this review on the 4th of January. And this is in the 10th house for you of career. So maybe there's an analysis that needs to happen. However, don't take action in the career sector too strongly with Mercury retrograde. Give it at least until the 8th. And if you can hold off, give it until the 28th when Mercury clears his shadow. So you have all communication skills working in your best interest, being able to listen and being able to speak. It's hard to incorporate both at some times, especially when Mercury is retrograde. And I understand. I sound crazy sometimes talking to tech support on the phone every day. They're like, what's the new issue now, Miss Moshier? So, well, you can't help it. You know, there's technical difficulties anywhere you can turn with Mercury at a standstill, but you do what you can. You know, you can't put your whole life on hold because of a retrograde, and some of you can't put travel plans on hold over the holidays either. So you just have to, you go with the flow, okay? And see what you learn in Mercury's retrograde, because there tends to be a review for you. And I'm noticing more and more it depends on your reaction to things. If you don't react drastically, and trust me, I try this all the time. I'm no pro of my own life, that's for sure. I haven't mastered something in my own life, but if you try not to react initially in either anger or upset or even with drama, it's better for you. It helps the situation. It's easily fixed without tremendous emotional reaction. Of course, I'm telling this to Pisces, who govern such depth of emotions. You govern the ocean. So you're deep, but I'm telling you, maybe your reactions need to be a little less deep right now while Mercury's retrograde. In the first week and into the second, we have a sextile, an aspect that's occurring with Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter in Libra, Saturn in Sagittarius. The only thing separating them is Scorpio, and a sextile is one sign away. It's a 60-degree positioning away from each other, which they are. So the 8th house, where Jupiter is stationed for Pisces, shared resources, abundance there, generosity with loans, investments, legal situations, property. And then Saturn in the 10th house of career. Maybe some of you are dealing with authority figures or bosses lending extra support financially, or there is some kind of harmonious, which is a sextile, harmonious energy in between how you are sharing your resources to a business situation or business partnership. Could apply differently. It's going to apply differently for everyone. There is, in a deep way, this could apply to the 8th house of death and the 10th house of the paternal, coming to terms with the discernment of Saturn in the father sector, coming to terms with a father's passing in a more positive way because Jupiter is influencing this. Some of you might not have had a supportive relationship with a father who has passed, and now that Jupiter's energy can touch Saturn, who's so restrictive and so oppressive, it can open up your belief in having faith, which is Jupiter, the positivity of this passing. This is a message for sure, because not all of you have dealt with fathers who have passed. And for those of you who have, I understand and my heart goes out to you. But this is a beautiful sextile energy where you can start to feel more positive is the best way I want to explain it about the passing itself or the relationship with your father who hasn't passed. I say past death because of the 8th house influenced, and that is in one of the darker realms, the house of death. So maybe that applies to some of you. I'm certain it does, the way the message came through specifically for me. On the 12th of January, we have our full moon at 22 degrees of Cancer. I love a Cancer full moon because Cancerian energy is so protective on the inside and then strong on the outside. So you have a lot of warrior energy, but then also soft, subtle energy with the Cancerian full moon. There's an awareness here about what you need to nurture, but in the 5th house for you of romance and children. So there's an illumination in the 5th house for you. Some Pisceans who are pregnant will give birth mid-month, the full moon bringing the culmination and the ending to a 5th house pregnancy cycle, fertility cycle. But for those of you not in that realm or in that age bracket or even desiring that energy, this could apply to creative endeavors and putting some closure on maybe an independent way you were working. You're switching things up here, or there's something that needs to be seen in your autonomy, how you were working in an independent business. Children could also be going back to school at that time, full moon, then leaving the environment, 5th house of children. So we'll see how that applies. On the same day, on the 12th, Mercury enters Capricorn, where he originally retrograded. So he's back in the 11th house of goals and wishes and clubs and friendships. Pisces, maybe there's some friends that you're connecting with or you're able to write or call or speak with Mercury in the 11th. This also gives great details and analysis to getting your goals in order. Writing a list of what you would like to accomplish with Mercury in the 11th house. On the 19th, our sun enters Aquarius, and on the 27th, we have our new moon in Aquarius at 8 degrees. So the 12th house, it's getting to be quiet time because soon it's your solar return. 6 weeks out prior to the birthday, to the return of the sun in the position of your natal chart, you get real honed in on the year's lessons can be accumulated in that 6 weeks, and you're meant to retreat. You're meant to rest in the 12th house where the sun and the new moon are. Dreams, endings, premonitions, psychic ability, subconscious mind awareness, addictions, release. It's the last sector before your first house is implemented strongly. So take that time. Take the time you need to assess where you're headed with the sun and the moon in that area. On the 28th, Mars enters Aries. This works for Pisces, the sign after you. Mars in a money sector in the second house is just where you want it. It's stamina, it's drive, it's ambition, it's determination. It's the will and the energy, which is Mars, in a financial sector, budgeting, self-worth, self-confidence. What are you worth? Are you doing too much self-deprecation or negative self-talk? Mars will be here for 60 days till March 9th. So he's a little bit slower moving than Mercury, the sun, and the moon. So you have him for 2 months in this money sector, and Venus will follow him on the 3rd of February into this money sector too. They're still doing their little romantic dance. And she's not there as long. She's only a 30-day transit planet. But you have the stimulation of Mars in a sector where if you're trying to increase your earnings, this is the time frame. So let's get to the Aquarian deck. I've fully shuffled in the astrological forecast. And if you'd like to book your yearly forecast with me, I have a new readings page on my website. Visit audreyalison.com. Ooh, this card popped out, so we'll leave them aside. Ooh, that's a good one. I'll show you. It's the Page of Pentacles, very overzealous. Oh, I'm sorry, no it's not, it's the 9. That looked like a P. 9 of Pentacles, actually even better. The 9 of Pentacles is the money tree. And that's your second house, where Mars is going to be. What's planted there will grow. But let me finish my little advertising stint here. Thank you for booking with me, and I'm offering a 60-minute Astro Tarot forecast, and that is a full hour. I will have your chart prepared and go over some transits for the year ahead and some natal positionings that I find fascinating, and I'll consult the tarot during that forecast. So check out my new readings page at audreyalison.com, and I've also put up a new reading entirely called The Lovers, two-chart compatibility analysis reading, and I'm very excited about that. The Lovers, Pollux and Castor. So those are constellations, but there's a whole beautiful story about Pollux and Castor that I love in mythology and just in astrology. Sorry, I'm losing my words. Let's get to the cards, and I'll leave up the 9 of Pentacles as well. But here is your January 2017 forecast, Pisces. First card being the 9 of Coins. Now we have the 7 of Cups. Look at this cool card. I love David Palladini. Now the 7 of Cups denotes mystery because there's a lot of wishes in these cups. Some of them good, some of them off, like the snake here. But some of them haven't been seen yet. One cup hasn't been discovered yet, is the concept of this card. Beauty, wealth, abundance, love. But then one thing hasn't been discovered yet. So there's a little bit of a mystery with the 7 of Cups. Let's see what it applies to. Ace of Pentacles. January, February, and March are going to be great money years for money months for Pisces. Ace of Pentacles is a new source of health or wealth. And it also is the card that marks March 20th. It's the first day of spring. So, in line with Mars through March 9th, you've got catalyst energy for the increase of your finances. Let's see who else pops up here. Oh my gosh, 10 of Pentacles, no lie. You can't make up the money here. Highest abundance, protection. when I said earlier about self-worth, don't be too distracted with money. It's great that it's happening, it's developing. There is reprieve for Pisces, especially with 3 coin cards out of 4 so far, and Mars in the money sector. And Venus in the first, which is also wealth, because she governs beauty and then also finance. But what I want to say is don't be too materialistic. Don't only see the coins in front of your eyes. And this guy's come up in several readings. This is Mercury. It's the Page of Swords. It's having messages come through once Mercury is direct. This is a mercurial card. The swords rule air, Gemini, governed by Mercury. I deduce everything in my head very quickly when I look at the cards. It's related to information coming in, and possibly a young air sign giving that information to you. Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. But this could also be a banker. It could be an attorney. It could be involving who's in charge of your money, a broker. But there is insight or information coming through when Mercury goes direct on the 8th of January, clearing his shadow officially at the end of the month, 28th or so. So perhaps all of these coin cards that flew out, that really wanted to come out, especially the 9 of Pentacles, what's growing for you. There's still not everything. Maybe some of you Pisces don't even realize this yet. This money hasn't come through yet, is the mystery itself. Or there's something that needs to be discerned perhaps in the illumination period of the full moon regarding finances. But this guy is bringing you news. He can bring that to you. I love the colors of these cards as well. They're like watercolors, very romantical. I think that you're about to uncover a beautiful piece of your financial story here, Pisces. And not just in January. I feel this might last through that March energy. And going into spring, where you have March 20th here, the first day of spring, that's going to be the most important cardinal energy, action-oriented time frame that we'll have had in 9 years. And that'll be from March 20th through April 19th. That'll be a number 1 energy. That's the first zodiac space on the wheel, Aries, from March 20 to April 19 or 20, depending on the year. So it's a number 1 month, technically, in a number 1 year in the astrological calendar. We're in a number 1 month, yes, in January, but the astrological year starts March 20th. And that is the initiating card that you got. And it's protecting your health and wealth and your well-being. So I like this reading for you a lot, Pisces. I'm glad that you were here spending time with me. Thank you for your donations. And thank you for booking with me. I'm wishing you a beautiful holiday, a happy new year. And remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.